Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you've never been here before. My name is Jamie. I read a ton of books. I also rescue kittens. Say hi, kitten. Yeah. So, this is my sort of wrap-up video for the month of September. It's not the end yet. I still have like 2 days worth of reading time left. I will be using that. But in the meantime, I should do a video. It's almost the end. I might as well just wrap up the month at least to this point. And then I'll mention any books I finished after that when I do my TBR for October. And or when I do the book haul video for all the new books I got this month. Yeah, this little guy is related to some of what I've been reading because I was reading Conan books when I got this litter. So this is Conan the Barbarian Kitten. Yes. Very cute. And he's got sisters. He came in with 4 girls. 3 of them are his sisters. 1 of them is probably a cousin. So I have Conan and Salome and Taramis and Valeria. And then the other girl is actually not a Conan name. Her name is Ikea because she has a foot that's on backwards. And yeah, first thing that came to mind was IKEA, because you get all the pieces and you put it together, and it might be a little wonky because you don't always put the pieces on correctly. Yeah, so that's IKEA. She's adorable. She actually has gotten a lot better. She has something called twisted leg syndrome. So her foot was twisted up, almost up into her body cavity, but it's relaxed a lot more. So at this point, it's just her foot that's flipped the wrong direction, which can be corrected hopefully when she gets spayed. So happy kittens, they're very cute. Yeah, so this will be talking through some books I finished. Eventually I have to put the kitten away. And talking about how September has gone so far. So, since the kitten doesn't want to go back to his box yet, we'll talk about the other stuff first. So, September, I was doing Sephirothon, Aurelium Academy, Adventure-a-thon, the Mystic Readathon, and the Goddess Complex Readathon. And I was also doing kind of shorty September and 30 and 30. So yeah, it's been a very readathon-y month. So how has that gone? Well, the 30 and 30 and the shorty September are both events where you're kind of participating if you're doing the minimum. You don't have to do all these prompts and stuff. And they do things like bingo boards as well, but it's not like required. And so I just kind of incorporate them in my reading plans. I will probably finish 30 novels, or 30 books anyway, in September. Hi. Yeah. Yeah, so I probably will end up finishing 30 books in September. And I've been reading short stories for shorty September. So I've finished a couple books of short stories, and I have a few more I'm working on. So I will probably finish a couple more, definitely stories, but I may try and finish a few more books of short stories to add to my stack that goes away at the end of the month. So that will probably happen. And then, let's see, Aurelium Academy was the least successful. I have chatted with other people in the booktube community that kind of have similar reading style to me, and they all had similar experiences with Aurelium, that it sounded great, but in practice it just wasn't a good fit. And I think that's going to be my experience with it as well. The prompts are so specific, and that really threw me off this month especially. The first round, it was okay, but there's one in particular where you're supposed to read a book with a phoenix on the cover or on the title. I actually own one, which was amazing. I've read a few others this year too, and phoenixes do pop up, but they're only in certain genres. There are only so many that actually have phoenixes, and they're not always in the title. So it's very specific. And my one book for that would have worked was by Joan D. Ving. And I have several of her books, and I wanted to read them all as kind of a chunk to binge that author. So I didn't really want to read that one book this month. I'm not ready to dive into her books yet. So that's already one class I'm not going to finish. I'm pretty sure the one for having all the letters of my name in it is also Aurelium. I did finish it, but there aren't a lot of books that have a J, A, M, I, and E all in the same title. I gave up trying to find the whole name. That just doesn't happen. Too many letters. Doesn't work. J's don't show up a lot in titles of the books I've got with all the rest of the letters. So, yeah. I did find one. I did read it. But yeah, I'm not going to finish my program of study at this rate. And I'm just not feeling it. So I think that's the one readathon where I'm dropping out, and I'm just not going to do the next one. There's so many other events that I can participate in. And I'm actually starting next month with Fablen, which is a new event by Margaret at the Word Nerd. D&D inspired. Another one where you have a character and you read for prompts and all this. So that should be fun. And I'm just going to do that and not worry about Aurelium, because obviously a ton of people really enjoy it. It's just some of us, it just doesn't fit with the way we read books. So that's fine. Yeah, so effectively I'm only doing 5 instead of 6 readathons this month. Yeah, it's okay. Adventure-a-thon, I did get through all the rooms. So I have all of the magic things to help with the final battle. I've been logging my books for the final battle. I have not really checked in to see how that's going, but I will do that probably this evening or tomorrow at the very latest. See how it's going, log the next book, that kind of thing. Suffer-a-thon's probably my favorite thing this month. My persona for Suffer-a-thon has kind of adapted the readathon to suit. Okay, I'm gonna put this thing back. This thing right here. The cutest baby. Yeah, I love kittens. Anyway, say bye to the humans. No, say bye to the humans. Those humans. Yeah, see, his eyes are doing pretty good now. You can actually see there's eyes in there. Yeah, so he came in blind. And at this point, You can still see a sheen if you look at just the right angle, but he obviously knows what he's looking at. So let's put your little boy away. Say bye, humans. Bye. I'll do your box tomorrow. Okay. Now to the meat of the video. Yes. How do you get any reading done with such cute things? I know. Audiobooks are your friend when you're doing kittens. Yeah, they're adorable. 3 fluffy black ones and 2 short-haired black ones. They're all black. Super cute. Okay, so the books. Most of these were in the thumbnail for this video. The ones that I finished are in that thumbnail for sure. But I'll show you a few books that I'm currently reading as well. They're not in the thumbnail because they're not close enough. One of them in that stack I'm currently reading and will finish this weekend because Readathon kind of necessitates it. Anyway, so first week of September in Readathon, the prompt I chose necessitated reading 10 books, which helped finish the 365 books for the year. That was very nice. So a lot of these physical books were from that. It was very productive. Readathon is a cruise this year. A cruise that's kind of gone wrong just a little bit. And the first week, my character, despite also choosing a prompt from one of the 4 hosts and reading the books, didn't really want to be pinned down to unhauling books just on principle, even though I actually don't keep most of the books after I finish them anyway. Less than 1% of the books I read actually stay in my collection after I've read them. So, in practice, all of my finished books are unhauled at the end of the month. So it's just a principle sort of thing. I'm digging in my heels because someone's telling me to do it. But anyway, so my persona on this cruise has abandoned her cabin and has holed up in a disused part of kind of the machine room level of the cruiser, or the cruise ship. So she's, got her space, defended and she's holed up where it would take a lot of effort to even locate her because it's not really on the ship specs. Yeah. That sort of thing. And she sends finished books out by seabirds. She's got all the seabirds trained to come over and carry messages and carry books for her. So she comes out and emerges in disguise every once in a while and participates in discussions and stuff. But otherwise is only participating as much as she feels like because she's not really in her cabin anyway to be found by the hosts. Yes. With all those tamed seabirds. And so part of the narrative is that, if you're watching at just the right time of day, sometimes you'll see, birds dropping things in the wake of the ship. And that's, dropping the unhauled books overboard. So, yeah. So, it's been amusing. Because, Readathon is, it's only as stressful as you make it. And, it's not like anyone's gonna force you to read these things nobody, wants to read, or, to read more books than you comfortably read in the month or whatever. Yeah, but it is the sort of readathon where if you get too into it without having a narrative that allows you to be flexible, it can be too stressful to be fun. And I've noticed a few people that just had to take a step back because they were getting too into it and it was getting traumatic just a little bit. But I've been enjoying it. It's definitely my favorite Readathon Discord out of all of them for this month. I've been on there a lot, enough that that's now the Discord channel that pops up first in the predictive text when I start typing into Discord. So I'm on there occasionally. Mystic Readathon's the other thing I've been doing. Mystic Readathon and Goddess Complex. Those are the two team-based Readathons. I'm in Team Persephone in the Goddess Complex and Team Human in Mystic Readathon. I am so confused with the card game part of Mystic Readathon. I guess I don't play cards enough to recognize what we're doing. So I kind of by default ended up doing feather mode just because I have no clue what's going on half the time. So, I read the books and log them, and, If I was only doing one readathon instead of 5, it might have made more sense, but it's still not clicking, and it's been a month. So, it's just not clicking for me. It's still fun, it's a readathon with all my friends, so that part's great. It was one where I had to agonize between different teams, and I ended up choosing my team based on the color of the cover that you got extra points for, and the colors of the covers of some of the books I wanted to read, because otherwise several of the teams had people I'm friends with as the hosts for them. So so that part's been fun, and the friendly rivalry sort of stuff. And Team Human has been doing great. We're not winning, I don't think, at the moment. That may change, because a lot of people are probably finishing up a lot of books that they're partway through this weekend. So hopefully we will win. But so far we've just been winning the individual segments, not the overall game. So if you're Team Human and you have books that you could prioritize reading in the next 2 days, yes, hopefully you are reading them and logging them, because I think we can do this. I think we can win, but we'll see. Then Team Persephone, I don't think that we're first place. We've been in the lead, I think, once so far, something like that. But it's not really as successful as Team Humans. It's been fun. Team Persephone had snafus right from the start, because we ended up having the Readathon creator have to be one of our 2 team leaders, because we had 2 different people that were team leaders and then couldn't do it. So it's been fraught with complications. And I think it's going well. There's not as many sprints for the Goddess Complex as there are for Mystic Readathon. So I've just been seeing more Mystic Readathon just because of that. And the sprints that there are, I don't know what times of day they're doing it. I was expecting a lot more European times, because the lady that created Goddess Complex is in Europe. But I've not been seeing a lot of, European time zone, reading sprints, which is what I was kind of looking forward to, because there are times of the day where I am awake because I'm a night owl, and everybody that is not a night owl in the US is not sprinting because they're sleeping. So yeah, if it happens again next year, hopefully we get more European team leaders that will host some sprints, so I can get sprints in parts of the day that I want sprints, and yeah. And eventually I'll get better internet and I can host sprints, but we were going to do that this month. It did not happen yet. Turns out there's more technical stuff that needs to happen before it's going to be hooked up in our house. Grr. So yet another month where we are not doing sprints on this channel, because there is no way my internet is going to support that right now. So, yeah. Oh well. Alright, books. Yay, books. Yes, it is time to show you guys books. So, Star Trek was one of the books that, or one of the franchises I finished multiple books in this month. Q Squared in The Next Generation. Q is an immortal. He's one of my absolute favorite characters in the Star Trek Next Generation. He gets bored a lot because he's immortal and nothing changes, and so he ends up pestering mortals to keep from being bored. And he really likes Jean-Luc Picard. It's one of his favorite people to pester. So this one's fun because it starts out with parallel universes, like parallel enterprises. And one, it's, the characters as we know them, and the other one, something has happened in their past that's changed, or several somethings. And Geordi LaForge can see, he doesn't need a visor. Beverly Crusher's husband, Jack, is alive, so she's not a widow. And he's captain still, so there are several people that did not get moved up to other positions because he's there still. And there's just all sorts of stuff, like, just a little bit off. So the characters are all still there, but they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah, it's a little confusing, but it's kind of fun. The other one is the Pandora Principle. This is original series. Spock is helping an orphaned Romulan and Vulcan girl. She's half and half Romulan and Vulcan. And very troubled. She's had a very rough start. She's made it into the cadets academy, Starfleet Academy, as a cadet. There we go. So she's doing really well, but she still has issues that she needs to work through. And meanwhile, there is a Romulan plot that involves some boxes that, when opened or scanned with certain things, release something that kills people very rapidly. So Pandora's box, open it up and bad things come out. Anyway, so both of these were fun. I might finish another Star Trek before the end of the month. I do have others stacked up, and they are mostly blue covers, which is the color that I need for Mystic Readathon. So, the other franchise that I read more than one book this month in is Conan the Barbarian. I read Conan of Aquilonia and Conan the Buccaneer. I like these because they are adventures that have female characters where the females do stuff. And in the Buccaneer book, there's actually a female pirate who's captain of her ship and kind of a badass, and she's rescued Conan a couple times. And then we have Conan as kind of a king. He's had to settle down. He's gotten older. He has gray in his hair. He's still tough, but he's not anywhere near as tough as he was when he was younger. He's having to settle down, be responsible. We'll see how that goes. So they're fun. And I named my kittens after characters in the Conan series because I was reading these when the kittens showed up. So it also turned out to be good timing for other reasons. But anyway, I finished a short story collection by Ray Bradbury, The Toynbee Conductor. I like his longer work better, I think. Because they were good stories. I enjoyed them while reading them, but none of them really were, I think, my favorite story. Some of it's also just the collection, I'm sure. Because there are some of his short stories that stuck with me ever since. The Wonderful Ice Cream Suit, which is the title story in a collection that I think is out of print. And those stories have ended up in other collections and stuff like that. The Wonderful Ice Cream Suit, you got three brothers that are sharing this wonderful white suit. They only have this one outfit that's really nice, and so if they want to go and woo a girl, they need to be the one that gets to have the suit. And that was just fun. And the one with the mushrooms, I don't remember which of the spacey themed short story collections this was in, but alien mushrooms that boys are raising in boxes in their basement, but they're aliens, and the spores make them want to raise mushrooms, and so they spread. I really like that one. It's subtle. Anyway, but they weren't in this collection. It's just good stories. They're well done. This is the first DNF of the year where I own it. It's going away. I'm not reading it. Alice in the Country of Hearts, book volume 4. It's the one book out of the stack for that first week of Sephirothon that I'm unhauling it. I don't need to read it because I've had it all year. It would be fast to finish. It wouldn't be for a lot of points because there's only one volume. But I've had it all year, and that's been an option all year, and I've not read it. It's been on TBRs a couple times. Yeah, so it's just going away. I don't read manga. I'm just accepting that I'm not a manga reader. Yeah, because I've read the first 3. So I know what I'm getting into in it. I'm just not looking forward to it at all. And I have an ARC that I got a couple years ago as a Goodreads giveaway. The Slave Players by Megan Allen. It's creative, different. A black former military man. He's calling himself a general. He does not actually have general rank, but he's given himself that rank. Has taken over a small town and enslaved all the white people so that he can show the white people what it's like to be a slave. So basically reversing who's the master and who's the slave in the Deep South. And it doesn't go well because, it's not surprising that this is not going to go over so well. And it's just one little town. It's not like he's changing the whole United States to be this flipped system. So obviously everybody else is treating it as a hostage situation, and yeah. So, but it was creative. It was interesting. It was better than I expected. So, not a 4-star, even like 3.5 stars, but it wasn't terrible. Short story collection by Ernest Hemingway. Not one of my favorite authors, but these were better than some of his long stuff. So this is Men Without Women by Ernest Hemingway. It has a couple stories that are centered in the world of wrestling or prize fighting, which are not things I watch or get into. But, yeah. Not bad writing, and I could sympathize with one of the characters in one of those stories a lot more than I usually can in, settings that are that far outside what I enjoy being involved with. So that was good. Still don't like Hemingway, though. This is a book I read for a book with all the letters in your name in the on the cover and the title. Because the names of all of the authors are kind of in the extended title, this one was handy. Because it has a J, because it has a story by Sarah Orrin Jewett. There's a J right there. And it also has M's, and it has A's and I's and E's all on the same title. It was amazing. But this is for an Aurelium prompt, and as I said, I'm just not feeling it. I think my character is dropping out of Aurelium. But I did finish this book, so that was good. And then I finished The Story of Edgar Sawtelle. I finished Familiaris in June as an arc. So then this is actually the one that was published first. Familiaris came out this year. Same family, some of the same characters. The Sawtelles raise dogs. There's Sawtelle dogs. Like their own breed of dog that's smarter and just better dogs. Like they're not bred for what they look like so much as just being a really good dog. They're not seeing dogs or hearing impaired helper dogs or anything like that. They're just really good dogs. Anyway, so in this book, Edgar Sawtelle, he's like Edgar Jr., because his dad's also Edgar, but his dad is called Gar. Edgar. And he has a Uncle Claude, and then his mom, and some of this comes up in Familiaris as well. So I don't think that like this one comes before the next book in the timeline. I think it's more just we're following different characters. And the characters in Familiaris continue on past the time at the end of this book. Maybe. But I need to reread Familiaris maybe next year and see if I remember things better, because they're long books and a lot of stuff happened. I like the writing still. I do not like the Edgar Sawtelle that's the title character in this book. He's disabled, so yay disability rep. He can hear, but he can't speak. So he signs and he writes to communicate. He's also just kind of a self-centered asshole. And yeah. So I could tell that I'm kind of supposed to sympathize with this kid, and poor guy, and he's doing his best. He's trying so hard. He's suffering, and he's just an asshole. Maybe because he's disabled and he's been, sheltered so much because of his disability, maybe he just has not learned how to not be so awful. I don't know. It's the sort of book where you can dislike the character and still really get into it enough that you really hate the character because you've read the whole thing. But yeah, I don't like this Edgar Sawtelle. Some of the other people with the same name, better people. So the ending was satisfying. I won't give away more than that, but the ending was satisfying. Yeah. So some of the books that I am currently reading. So I finished this book technically, but I didn't remember enough of it because I was reading too many books all at once right at the end of the month last month. And yeah, it fit a prompt. I needed it. I read it. It was good. But I just felt like I needed to give it some more time to develop in my brain. So I'm rereading this, not for points or anything, just reading it. I may be done with it by the end of the month, but it may just be something I read when I want no pressure reading between now and whenever it's done. Because it is a reread, and I don't count rereads that are back to back. So since I just did read it, it's not going to count for points for anything. It's just for fun. But Empress of the Splendid Season by Oscar Huelos. And when I finish it'll go to my sister, but I'm not done with it enough to give it to her yet. This is the library book, Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. I will probably finish this one this month. It's not a long one, and when I sit down to focus on it, it shouldn't take very long to finish. And it reminds me of Barkskins by Annie Proulx. And we have London by Edward Rutherford. It's very fat. Almost 900 pages. I said I'd read it on Readathon when I finished 365 books. So I need to finish it. And I'm going to try to finish it by the end of the month, which is why it's in the stack of finished books, because it will be finished this month. I will be reading it tonight and tomorrow and until it's done. It's not 1,000 pages. It's not that long. I just need to finish it. And then this one I was rereading the last half of it. It's short stories, so I'm just revisiting the short stories before it goes away. This is another one I read last month. But I wasn't in the mood for short stories. I just was trying to get it done. And I did. But some of the stories, I liked them enough to want to revisit them before I get rid of the book. So, yeah. The Soft Voice of the Serpent by Nadine Gordimer. Another one that I'm going to finish it on my own time, and then it can go to my sister. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I have other books that theoretically I might start between now and the end of the month. It is 2 o'clock in the morning of the 29th right now here. So I don't have that much reading time left. I have the rest of the 29th and the 30th. So we'll see how that goes. I'll do 2 more videos, hopefully for September. One will be the TBR for October. The other will be a book haul video. And that will just be a combined, all the books I acquired in September video. Because I did just get a bag of books today from a really cool book shed. Literally, it is a garden shed that's full of books, and it's a self-serve. It has a hole in the wall that you put your money in. And it's like really cheap books. And the people that live in the town that this is located in read some really great diversity of books. So I will show those off. I did get a few books from the Goodwill Outlet bins earlier this month. So I'll show those off in the same video. And I might also talk through some of my library books and show you guys what caught my eye, and so that'll be for next month, but I'll do that video in the next couple days, and if I finish any other books in September, I will mention them in whichever of those videos is appropriate. So yeah, hopefully everyone is doing well, and if you're doing any of the readathons I'm doing, let me know how you are doing with them. And I will be doing Fablen and TBR Harvest next month for sure. I'm not sure about any others yet. I did just watch Paige's video, Pages with Paige, on the upcoming readathons for October that did include mention of my readathon. I do have the next Dewey's readathon next month. I'm starting to think that maybe I'm going to feel around for who wants to take over head admin duties. I haven't decided yet. It's not that much work, but it could be so much more if I felt a little bit more motivated, or if I had a smartphone. Like, I don't have the technology to even use a lot of the short form stuff on the internet. So there are some platforms that we could be more active on, but I can't be running them. So I haven't decided how I feel about all that yet. It may be something that I wait until April to decide. But I am starting to feel like maybe if there's somebody that wants to be lead admin for Dewey's, this might be one of the last ones that I'm the lead on. We'll see. Because I don't really feel all that motivated to spin up anything for it. Like, yay, Paige mentioned it. Like, oh, okay, I guess so. It's on. You know, and a lot of it's already set up or will be shortly. But anyway, yeah, Dewey's is next month. It's literally a weekend. It's 24 hours, and then it's done. So it's not a huge deal. So that will be the 26th and 27th, I believe. I know I made all the graphics for it. So 26th and 27th, it starts on at 8 o'clock in the morning on the 26th and runs through 8 o'clock in the morning on the 27th in U.S. Eastern Time Zone. So we shift it for everywhere else. Yeah. 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock here, 8 o'clock Eastern. Anyway, I will do a video about that too. It might come in the next week. It will come soon. All about Dewey's and what to do for it, all that stuff. Yeah. But I'm going to sign off before this video gets any more rambly than it already is. And the previous iteration of this video, I showed off my crocheted chicken. So I will show you my crocheted chicken. This is my crocheted chicken. She's very lopsided. I put the eyes on in poor lighting, and I was going off of, making it even with the comb and the wattle, which is good. It's all nice and lined up with the comb and the wattle, but not with the rest of the chicken. So she's just, turned her head and is, judging everybody. So other than that, it turned out really well. And, chickens do look like that when they're turning their head, because their feathers cover up their neck, so you can't see their neck. You just see that their head is rotated. So it works, but she is really lopsided. So I will be making another chicken. I've already started her. She's pink and green. And my friend from our stitching group, two of them got packs of eyes. So these eyes were from one of the ladies in our group. But they're just standard black safety eyes. The other lady that got eyes for the chickens, she got googly eyes. And she got a pack of 50, and there's no way she's going to use up 50 googly eye pairs. She doesn't make that many stuffed animals that she wants to put googly eyes on. So, I should be able to get some googly eyes from her, and my next one will have googly eyes, which I'm very excited about. So that's what I'm going to be working on over the next week, crochet-wise, and I've got a blanket that I'm finishing up that I'll show in one of the next videos. So that will pop into videos as well. Yeah, that's about it. I'm hoping that these will be the last kittens for a little bit, just so that I can take a break from kittens, because by the time these guys go away, I will have had 25 kittens so far this year. That's a lot of kittens. Most of them are from the same colony, so you can imagine how many kittens would have happened if all these guys hadn't been caught and tamed and then sent on to shelters to be fixed and pets. A lot of them have been girls too. So it's been good work. But as far as I know, there's no kittens waiting in the wings yet. I should knock on wood on that, because as soon as I say that, there's going to be a call about kittens. But I might actually have a break from kittens for a little bit. I did keep one. His name's Meowreese, and he is not interested in being picked up at the moment, but I'll show him off later. So yeah, I think that's all caught up. I will try to not be quite so lax in my recording schedules in the next year of being on BookTube, as this was my BookTube anniversary month, more or less. I'm pretty sure it is. My channel already existed before I started doing BookTube. It just wasn't doing BookTube yet, so it's not like YouTube says, hey, it's your anniversary, because it doesn't know the difference. So but I'm pretty sure the first BookTube content that I put out was a year ago this month. So, yay, a year. And I'll probably do a year in review video at some point, now that it's fully been a year. But we'll see how that goes. I need to do a where I'm at on all my projects kind of update too. So, stay tuned. Yeah, leave a comment if you have anything you want to chime in about anything I've said. Yeah. And I will talk to you again soon. Bye, guys!